Hi all, my name is Layla Pirjaberi, and today we're going to be doing the online video tutorial number 2. So the topics I'm going to be talking about today are the licensing agreements, the franchising agreements, and the similarities and differences between the two. Licensing agreement. This is a contractual arrangement whereby a company transfers the right to distribute or manufacture a product or service in a foreign country, or the right to use any type of expertise that may include patents, trademarks, company name, technology and technological know-how, and design or business methods. The licensee pays a fee or percentage of sale in exchange for the rights. This is basically a legal contract between two parties, the licensor and the licensee. Licensing is a good choice in cases where the barriers to import and investment where legal protection is possible in the target environment and where there is low sales potential in the target country. A franchising agreement is a legally binding document that outlines a franchisor's terms and conditions for a franchisee. Every franchise is governed by these terms, which are generally outlined in a written agreement between both parties. The franchise agreement is signed at the time an individual makes the decision to enter the franchise system. A franchise agreement is a license that establishes the rights and obligations of the franchisor and the franchisee. The franchise agreement must include, but is not limited to, the overview of the relationship, the duration of the agreement, the initial and continuing fees, the assigned territory, the training and support, the advertising, the insurance requirements, and the record keepings. Advantages and disadvantages of each. Licensing. Advantage 1. It's a quick and easy entry into the foreign market. Advantage 2. It requires lower capital and lower risks because you enter with established products. Disadvantage 1. There is a lower level of control. Disadvantage 2. The licensee may eventually become a competitor, and the license period is very limited. Franchising. Advantage 1. It legally allows you to use a known trademarked business name and logo as a part of your business plan. Advantage 2. You are one of the many individual franchise owners that are affected by the franchise company's decisions. Disadvantage 1. The inflexible nature of a franchise may restrict your ability to introduce changes to the business to respond to the market or make the business grow. Disadvantage 2. Costs may be higher than you expect. As well as the initial costs of buying the franchise, you may pay continuing management service fees, and you may have to agree to buy products from the franchisor. Similarities between licensing and franchising agreements. Both agreements are involving relationships with two different individuals, separate groups, and even potential business partners. They are both legally binding agreements that recognize and control particular rights and obligations and duties of two parties to come to an even understanding. Although given in different forms, grants and access are given in both agreements. Differences between licensing and franchising agreements. The franchising agreement is governed by security laws, whereas the licensing agreement is governed by contract laws. The licensing agreement does require registration, whereas the franchising agreement does not require registration. In a franchising agreement, support and training is provided by the franchisee as compared to the licensing agreement. There is no training or support required or asked of in the settlement. In a license agreement, the licensor does not have control over the licensee, whereas in the franchising agreement, the franchise has all control over the franchisee. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.